Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Corey and we are in episode 4 of cleaning our houses wall by wall. This room I'm cleaning today is what we call our laundry room. It's really just, that's our back door right there with all that black tape on it. It's really where you come in our back door, our washer and dryers in there, stuff that we need to store. This is one of the rooms that I do not put a lot of attention into because that door right there that leads to my kitchen, if people are coming over, I literally can just shut it. So I don't give it a lot of detail cleaning. But if you see, I'm using my most famous steamer, and look at all the dust that's just, this is the back of the door that really no one ever sees because we usually have it propped open or it's shut if company's coming. So nobody ever sees the side of the door. So if I'm in a hurry cleaning up, so I can either spend time with my family or because people are coming over, this door is not something I ever clean. And so it was so nice and satisfying to be able to clean this door and watch that dust fly like that. It was also a reminder like how gross it was. So it was the best of both worlds to get this room clean. This was one of the rooms, when I get done with this video, I don't think it shows up as good on video, but I stood and stared at this room for a little because I didn't even realize how dusty and stuff it was. And then when it was done, it looked so good and I was so happy. So behind this door, my husband just hung up these racks, these hook things where we can hang the broom. And over there on the side is where we hang all the stuff for the dog. I did go through some of the stuff for the dog. And I said to my daughter, we have 18 leashes, 18 collars, 3 vests. We have 1 dog. So I made her pick a few of them that we could donate to a shelter or something because we don't need that many. We still have, in my opinion, more than we need for 1 dog, but there were some that she didn't want to get rid of, so we kept those. So now I'm just cleaning the other side of the door. These little vents are hard to clean, really. I mean, I sprayed them with the steam and stuff, but you have to get your finger in there and do each little vent, and that was, kind of a pain and time consuming, but made me feel good when it was done. It's been a few weeks since I put out episode 3, so I'm sorry about that. For those of you that have been following along faithfully, put something in the comments if you're watching the 4th episode and you've already seen 1 through 3. And if you're new, welcome. Please subscribe. We're going to keep going. When I first started doing this project, before I posted any of these on YouTube, I had 2 rooms already done because I thought I needed to do them in advance so that I could put them out every week like episodes. And so I had 2 done, and I was starting the living room, which was a big room and a lot of moving of furniture and stuff, so that took a little longer. And stuff started happening. My one child was sick. My other child thought he broke something. I had to take him to the doctor. There was lots of family things that kept coming up. We had a snowstorm here in North Carolina, which was super fun because we never get snow, and we got to go boogie boarding, use our boogie boards to go sledding, and it was super fun. But my kids were home for a week, so I started getting behind. And when you're detail cleaning like this and doing 1 wall a day and there's a lot of stuff, sometimes you can't get a whole room done in a week and enough time for me to edit the clips together and then post it each week. And I could if I just wanted to hurry up and get a video out on YouTube, but I actually do want to do this cleaning right, and I want it to be nice and good as I go around my house, so I know it's something that was recently cleaned and doesn't have to be touched when company comes over. I'm showing you this messy pile to show you this is all the stuff I took down and was behind the door and stuff, and sometimes as you're doing this project, it looks worse before it looks better. All this darkness on the floor, this is behind where the door is propped open and also where my husband keeps the bag of charcoal for grilling. So this part of the floor was really dirty. And as you could see with that steamer, it's so satisfying just to watch the dirt be just taken right off with the steamer. There's a couple bad spots that need a little extra scrubbing, but this was satisfying. And I think that's what makes it so satisfying is because it's an area that I didn't really notice with the door and all the stuff there. And because it was so bad, once you get it clean, it's one of those things I really like to step back and look at. It makes me happy. So I'm going to steam a little more and do some scrubbing. I put some music on between some of the clips when I'm not talking, and I'll explain later why I picked this song, but I hope you enjoy it. The floor has dried back there, so now I'm just going to put back the stuff that's going to go back. I got rid of a few things, and there were a couple things that go in a different place. As you can see, there's the 3 dog vests. You'll see me start hanging up all these leashes and collars, a lot more than for 1 dog. But once I get all this stuff back up there, then we will move to the next wall. I did that wall in 1 day, which is what I usually like to do, 1 wall a day. But the rest of this room is going to be all done in 1 day. We didn't do 1 wall a day because I was so behind, and I am trying to get these videos out for you as fast as possible while still doing a good job on my house. So this day I had time, and I decided I just got to get this whole room done, or this video will never be complete and I won't be able to move on to my next room. So even though it's a small room, there were a lot of things to touch in this room, but I was just like, I'm going to get it done. So here I cleaned the outside and inside of this glass door of our back door, and now I'm going around all the edges. A lot of dust up there on the top of the door frame, just like I showed you on that other door. Right now I'm spraying our back door, and there's a little story behind why there is duct tape on this window. So one time, me and my kids were out of town visiting my sister. My husband was home. He did not have his house key. He locked himself out, or we locked him out, whichever way it happened. And when he got home, we were like 4.5 hours away, so there was no way for us to come and rescue him. So he had to break this window to get in the house. He duct taped it as a temporary solution, which worked. It sealed it up, and he went to go and try and buy a door to replace it. What we did not know is you cannot just buy a new door and put it in. You have to have someone come in and put in the whole new door jamb, and we didn't have the money to do that. So this door has been taped quite a few years. Someday we will have the money to hire someone and come and put in a new door. But until then, this will be our solution. This, where I am right now, this little section up here with all this junk almost gave me enough anxiety to want to skip this room, but it's exactly why I'm doing it, because there's certain spots that never get touched, and there's just so much stuff I don't know what to do with. And I was like, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. This thing I'm about to take off right there, it's like some kind of cooker thing that we got. Someone handed it down to us, and we literally have never used it. It is brand new. It still is the books. I will be donating it to someone in need because I don't even know how to use it. We don't use it, and it's just been up there collecting dust. So I just took everything down. I put it all on the floor on top of the washer and dryer and thought, okay, I'll deal with this a little at a time. I'm not going to move that white cupboard. It is full of stuff, which I will be taking some of that stuff out, and you'll see, but I just can't move that. So the wall that is behind this will not be cleaned, but that doesn't mean I can't clean the spots around it. There's a cute story on this. This is glass, fruits, and vegetables that I'm washing right here, and it was full of dust. This stuff looked so much better after I washed it off. It was crazy how different it looked, because that's been up there since the first year my husband and I were together, 15 years ago. The first year we were together, he went with me to our family reunion. We used to have one once a month, and once a year, and he came with me for the first time. And we have this little auction thing where people bring stuff that they don't want anymore, and then we set it around a room, and everybody gets an envelope with tickets, and you put your number in, the stuff you want, and then they pull out a number, and whoever's number they have wins the prize. Well, my husband put his numbers in this glass, fruits, and vegetables, and he won. And when they called his number, he let out such a loud woo! The whole place turned. Everyone started laughing because he was so excited to win this glass, fruit, and vegetable. So even though it only sits up there on top of that little white cabinet thing, and we don't really use it, our kids used to be too little for that glass fruit to be down anywhere, and I don't really have a place for it anyway, but we will never get rid of it because it is such a good and funny memory. This cupboard I'm going through, I went through not too long ago, so right now I'm just looking for a few things I could get rid of. The other thing about this room and cleaning it out is I need most of this stuff. In there, that shelf I'm on now, that's my kitchen stuff, my quick cooker, my food processor, our toaster, our blender, stuff that I actually need. So I'm taking it out to wipe off the shelves and see if there's anything I can get rid of, but The problem with this is our house doesn't have much storage and I need all this stuff. So you won't be seeing me get rid of too many things on these top two shelves. The next shelf down is like my kids' kind of craft stuff. Like when they were little, they used more of this. And I did go through it recently, but I'm going to go through it again because there are some more things that I get rid of here and I organize it a little better. Even though they don't really like sit down and color or do crafts anymore, I don't want to get rid of this stuff yet because my youngest son is still in elementary school and they still send home the projects that you have to do with your kid. Every time I get a sheet in the homework that says a project needs to be done, I'm like, no, it is not my strong suit. But luckily, God knows what you need. And he gave me a husband and a daughter who are very creative, love crafts, love projects. So anytime that sheet comes and I'm almost in a panic because I have no idea what to do, I'm just like, hey guys, he has this project he needs done and they are on it. Whichever one of them's home helps them brainstorm ideas and get it together, and it's great. So even though the kids don't usually use this stuff too often, I'm going to keep a lot of it. I'm just going to make it more organized. A lot of these coloring books and like these are like, I guess if you were homeschooling, like type of books to help your kids learn to write and do math, I am going to donate them because I know a lot of families that do homeschool and I'd rather just pass it on. I've been holding on to forever. My kids are getting too old to even do the work that's in the books and it's just time to let it go. That shelf on the bottom, I'm hardly going to touch. That is my husband's shelf. And when I went through this whole cabinet a little while ago, I did go through all that and organize it. But he can't find stuff when I organize it. So it looks a hot mess. And I do take a few things out of there. You'll see me take a few things out of there. But I'll literally just be putting it all back in because I want him to be able to find his stuff. And if we were going to go through it again, we would need to go through it together because I would have no idea what he would want me to do with the rest of that stuff. So that's about all the organizing that'll get done on that shelf. Here, I already put this stuff back on the shelf and then found these baskets that were up on top that they don't want to get rid of, so I found a new space for them. I'm cleaning the inside and the outside of the cabinet because that's part of the wall, and even though I can't move it away from the wall because it's way too heavy, I can still do the front of it. Moving on to the side, this is where my husband hangs all his utensils for the grill. I also think we have a lot of these, but because they're his and he does all the grilling, they'll eventually go back up because I don't like to get rid of stuff that is not mine that I'm not sure, if he'll need again. So I'm moving all the stuff. That's a cute little rack that I don't even know where we got it from, but that's where we keep like our detergent and our dog food and all that kind of stuff on. This rack was also very dusty. I never noticed because of all the stuff on it, but it was fun to clean this. If you have a steamer, it's almost even more fun to clean the stuff that's super dirty because then you get to see how great the steamer works. It works on the areas that are clean too, but it's just fun to watch. This is the door to where like not our hot water heater, like our air conditioning heating system thing is. And this was crazy dusty. What I really would have loved to do is just take this off the hinges, take it outside and spray it. It probably would have happened. It probably would have been a lot easier, but I didn't know how to get it off the hinges. And I don't want to mess anything up more than it already is. So I thought I'll just go through this. It's again, I'm spraying it with a steamer and then I have to take my finger and go through every single vent. And it was so dusty. But it's right beside our dryer, so the dust gets over everything. A lot of times when I'm vacuuming my house, every time I take the hose of the vacuum cleaner and vacuum off the dryer and the washer and stuff like that, pull the vent out. But I don't ever really open this door and vacuum it out. Sometimes I take the vacuum and do the vents from the outside of the door. But as I'm cleaning this, I realize that doesn't really help once I open it up and look at it on this side. This door probably was the biggest improvement that I noticed as I was cleaning. This and where the charcoal was sitting behind that door. Probably the two most untouched spots. The song that I'm playing in between clips when I'm not talking is music from the song Oceans, and I absolutely love that song. The first time I heard that song, I was doing a study called Freedom, a great study, by the way. And we were on a week about like your faith, and it was doing an analogy of your faith being like in a river. Like, are you just standing on the sidelines where you know you're safe? Are you just like putting your feet in? Are you just going ankle deep, knee deep? Are you going waist deep where you're sort of believing, but you'll be safe to run back to shore if you need? Or are you jumping in with both feet, picking up your feet, and just letting the river take you where God wants to take you? And then I heard this song, Oceans, and it's like, Spirit, lead me where my trust has no borders. And it became kind of the song of my life. Even making this YouTube channel, like, I'm not comfortable making these videos, and thank you for those of you that are sticking with me and listening through them and stuff. I don't feel like I'm a great speaker. I really don't know how to edit or anything. So, I mean, it's just, I know these videos are as basic as they are, but I really felt it on my heart that God wanted me to start making these videos. And so that song that I'm using when I'm not talking is kind of like my way of keep going. Like, you may not be comfortable in this, but really God just wants obedience. He doesn't care really if you fully understand or if you think you know what you're doing. Actually, he can use you more if you don't think you know what you're doing, because you're just going to do what you think he's telling you. So that is the goal of my life. I really just want to be pleasing to God, and I really just want to hear what he's saying and try and do it. And I know I mess up a gazillion times along the way, and I fail so much, but that's also the good thing about God. He forgives you for your mess ups. He understands. He made you. He knows how you are, and he chose you for a purpose, for whatever his purpose is. And we don't always get to see the greater good. We don't get to see what the seeds we plant, what they mean in people. There was one of you, and I hope you're still watching, that commented that you're not really a religious person, but you like to watch me clean and you like to hear my voice while you're cleaning. And you have just been on my mind and my heart since you commented that, and I am so grateful for you, and I'm grateful that you were brave enough to even comment on a video of someone that's basically talking about Jesus the whole time, and being honest that maybe that's not a place where you are, but you're watching anyway. And I just think maybe God put you here to watch my videos, and there may be others out there that aren't commenting, that are listening to some of the things that God's having me say, and it's helping you in your own lives. And maybe it's not even the stuff I'm talking about Jesus. Maybe there's some of you out there that have felt so trapped in your messy, dirty houses, or you've been in your houses that when you watch all the videos online and your house isn't looking as pretty or new or up to date or fancy as all these houses you're seeing, maybe just seeing how I live is helping you, because I love my life. I love my house. There's things you could see, like my door that's duct taped shut. Not everything in my house is perfect, but my life is so happy and I live at peace. And a lot of that, well, it 100% comes from God, but God giving me the idea on cleaning my house this way. I was just talking to my husband the other day about how it's been a few years that I came to the realization, or God gave me the realization, that sometimes my getting depressed or getting, too anxious and stuff is all based around on how messy my house was. And I was doing it to myself because I was being probably too lazy, or just not even lazy. Like, I would just get overwhelmed by how much of a mess there is. And it's like taking the first step in anything, in working out, in cleaning the house, in doing paperwork, in starting a new job, in whatever. Like, when you're starting something, sometimes the first step is the hardest. So maybe this video is just for those that, have felt like they're just trapped in their dirty houses, and you needed to see someone else that got out of being trapped in her dirty house. This shelf right here is just some wire shelves that are above our washer and dryer. The side that you saw me cleaning off first, there's some stuff up there. There was like a snowmaking machine, and I know when my daughter watches this, she's gonna be like, why did you get rid of that? But it's donated, because also brand new. I have no idea even where we got it, and never used, never taken out of the box. We will never use it. So it's being donated. It'll be one less thing on that shelf. Those red boxes right there, I haven't used in a long time, but once I got up on the shelf, I was like, oh, you know what? I can use those. Those are little, my sister used to sell I think it was Grace Adele. I think that was the company. I'm not 100% sure, but they're almost like little fondue pots for chocolate and cheese. And there's a lot of times that I have little dips and I'm using like such big crock pots to keep the stuff warm. So that was a good find. The stuff that was on the right side that you saw me not take down and it's still piled up, that's my husband's stuff also. He's a deer hunter. That's his grinder. That's his dehydrator. That's all his, I don't know, special stuff that he needs. The fryers, he has a little like outside frying thing where you can fry like chicken wings and stuff. That's up there. So like I said, even though it doesn't look great up there and it still looks kind of bunched up and full, it is straightened and it's stuff we need and we don't have much storage. So it's not always about getting rid of all your stuff. And then like once you clean a room, everything's going to be gone and empty. Oh, that little plaque right there. I got to tell you about that plaque. My husband and I used to work together years before we ever got together. Like, he actually moved to a different city before we ever got together. We were not a couple at all while we were working together. But it was a little plaque that the manager had to give employees for special things. And he gave me a plaque. So it has both of our names on it from years before we were ever a couple, and I found it one day when I was unpacking and I thought it was so cute. And it's not really something that needs to be hung out on the wall, but I thought, what a perfect place to hang it in the laundry room. If you have not cleaned the inside of your washer, I highly recommend that you do all around it. This had dust on it too from the dryer and everything, and I cleaned it out several weeks ago like this, like even in all the rings, took the parts out, washed them, whatever, and it looked like a brand new washer. And that was only a couple weeks ago. And when I was doing it today, it looked dirty again. So I'm gonna just have to do it more often. We're almost done with the room. I didn't want to pull out the washer and dryer. They have both been pulled out recently too because my dryer broke. My husband watched a YouTube video on what could be wrong, bought the parts, fixed it. Then the washer was filled up with water, would not drain. My husband watched a YouTube video, bought the parts, fixed it. He's so super smart. But that has all been in the past. I mean, it's been this year. It's been several months, but it's been this year. And both pieces were pulled out and cleaned under it and stuff. And they're so heavy. And this is such a small room. It's hard to get them out. So I didn't even want to attempt to pull them out. And I knew they were cleaned under a few months ago. And if something ever happens to them again, we'll be pulling them out and I'll clean under them. But so I always go over the floors. If you see me down on my hands and knees doing the floors and then using the steamer, I use Pine Sol on my hands and knees to make sure I scrub all the spots. And then it says to leave it on for like 10 to 15 minutes looking wet and then to rinse it off. So that's when I use my steamer after. And here's the finished room, and you might be looking at it like, oh, it doesn't look much better, but it looks much better to me. That's why in the beginning I said on the video, you can't really tell how much better it looks, but to me, it makes me happy, and it's one more room that's organized. And now, when I have company over, I can leave this door open and I don't have to worry about shutting the door. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you join us on the next one. If you haven't seen the first 3 episodes, go watch them and catch up. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe.